Hey. Hey, winter's over.
For real? Winter's over? Ugh, let's drink to that.
So shortly after winter, I got a new face shell from PPP Prop Shop, and it came with all these different expressions, and it really motivated me to try to make something where you can have all these expressions in one, the Deadpool Moveable eyes. There was a real benefit to the eyepieces from PPP Prop Shop, which is like right here, like you can actually put them on your face and they're contoured really well. And while this is something that was definitely on my mind before, I was actually gonna execute it this time around. So here, we started with just basically making sure that the setup could support this. What I did is just taped some pieces of cloth and demonstrated that, if you have them on your eyebrow and your cheek, you can achieve this motion that allows you to have these different expressions. So like many things, small steps, and here we had one working eyebrow. So just to elaborate further, right, there's two magnets here. This is just being held on with some tape, duct tape. There's two right here, and that's when they're going to attach to each other. So this first attempt doesn't go perfectly. The tape ends up coming off the fabric. But this was the first attempt at using magnets, and really what would become the final design really was based around using magnets. Here things are a little more held together, and I actually got the magnet test to work. I was just using electrical tape for the mock-up and one wire to hold the things across the center. Not quite sure why I chose to test the lower eyelid first, but as you can tell, there was motion, and that gave me a lot of excitement. This version relied on jewelry wire wrapped around elastic cord to make the motion happen. And we have this effect. Jewelry wire, two magnets each. Actually, just hot glue gun, mesh, and that's a little bit of spandex to pull it down. Oh, right, there's an elastic cord, and it's really important to point out that this elastic cord is very loose. If you make it tight, this shit is hard to work with. Thanks for watching. Right. And here it is with both eyes. Moving left eye. Close and open. Somewhere over here there's a bit of a... looking back now, this design is really great. I feel like if I had used a flat, stronger, thicker magnets, this would have worked flawlessly. But it does not work great over time, and as you can see, using the jewelry wire, you get that weird dippage. If you look in the left eye, some parts are lower than others. Around the same time, I was trying to come up with a way where you don't have to put the magnets directly on your skin. And here, using some straps, I actually was able to achieve motion without doing that, just using these straps to hold the magnets. The eyebrows are definitely the easiest thing to move around. The bottom part kind of works sometimes. So in addition to some of the things that have a drawback with using the cloth in this design, I think just it looks a little weird. Around the same time, I did a little facial editing and added that fin you can see in the back. Also, a quick note that I made this cool power eliminator, and it was very easy to make and cheap. You just buy this running belt from Amazon. So check out my Instagram if you want to know how to do that. Currently, to achieve optimum performance, I've decided to go with Warbler. Basically, just get the eyelid shape and add some magnets. I even tried to do some fancy things with having the base layer also be Warbler, but that didn't go through. As you can see, here's the general setup. Elastic cord, get covered by Warbler, going to the sides. And it, worked pretty darn well. But it does require a lot of aligning. The major thing that's going to be different from what you see right here with the final product is the magnets are thicker, and the insertion of the elastic cord is a little different than what you see right here. But that's it. That's if you have some Warbler, elastic cord, super glue, and magnets, this is a general setup. This is the very first time I'm trying this out. Let's see how this works. One's a little tight, it seems, because this isn't going down all that much. This is terrible paint form, but side note, I painted them. And then I actually did a little sanding to get it nice and smooth and then paint it again. It's because you use 1/16 inch magnets instead of 1/8. It's slipping off. Where's the side not coming down? Oh my god. Okay. This is why we troubleshoot things, you know, because it's not always going to work. The amount of expression I can get now is pretty good. I mean, while doing some adjusting, I wanted to show you what this looks like without the mask. Bleep you eyelid. Piece of fork. So after all the adjusting, I still had this issue where they weren't closing all the way, and I really wanted that. And they were kind of closing lopsided too. I thought I fixed this. It's like not going down. I just want to be able to close my freaking eye all the way. Here, I got this corner issue. Here, it won't do it. It just won't freaking do it. Why can't you go down? And that leads us to now, where I've ripped out the whole eyelids, I know, and just kind of like reinvented or redesigned the approach. Not much really to it, but I've alluded to it before. You know, I'm using thicker magnets, and the biggest thing is I've changed where the elastic cord inserts on the sides. So, you know, we're used to be inserting along like the horizontal plane. It is now the top eyelid like goes down and inserts, and the bottom eyelid goes up and inserts. I'm scared that this one right here that you see right here is a little too tight, so we're gonna have to do some testing. Also worth pointing out that I didn't just put the elastic cord on the back of this eyepiece, I actually dremeled a little channel for it as well, so that I also think helps with making sure that the eyelids close efficiently, because there's not something that they're rubbing against. And while I've made this specifically for a Deadpool eyepiece, I believe you can take this similar approach as design and apply it to like cowls or other masks, such as like Batman or Spider-Man even. Captain America nails for the win. He's my role model. And that's where I am currently. The phone's actually needing some data unloading, so I'm going to make this video and post it. This is how I put on the facial and the mask. I used the gray one because my red one's a little torn up in the front. You know, it comes with very holes originally, so like I cut out all these bigger ones. That's why I used a gray mask. Okay, and then as you guys know, this is the design. So I just taped the mesh, and let's dock it and test it out. Okay. Hey, look at that! It's working. Find happiness in what you can do. Wink. Surprise. Anger. Yeah, I can't do anger. I can't change the position, can I? Well, that's it for now.